Hello and welcome, race fans, to another episode of After the Checkered Flag with your host, me, Paige Johnson, where we cover all things NASCAR Cup Series. And this week is a big week because we are about to go into the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. But first, I need to touch on a little bit about our final regular season race of the season at Daytona. Daytona absolutely came out swinging. Right in stage one, a massive wreck ripped through the field, ending the hopes and dreams of a few players trying to fight their way into the playoffs. This all started when Bubba Wallace came down just a little too far, and maybe he didn't realize that that he was three wide, and he was being pushed forward by Kyle Larson, who was right on his bumper. That tiny miscalculation triggered a 12-car pileup and brought out the red flag early in stage one. Bubba climbed out of the car a little bit confused. He wasn't really sure kind of what happened there, but thankfully he was okay and already had his headset on Darlington. Then there's Alex Bowman rolling off in second place this past weekend. He didn't necessarily need a win, just a solid finish, or for there not to be a new race winner to emerge so that he could hold on to that final playoff spot. Unfortunately for him, he got swept up in that same stage one crash, and his team tried to patch the car back together, but the damage was just too severe, and just like that, Bowman's playoff hopes were in jeopardy and his day was done. Now, his teammate, though, Kyle Larson, picked up some much-needed momentum for the 5 team. He took a stage one win, big win for the team. Hopefully, that will carry him into the playoffs with some more confidence, and he can come back swinging. He can get out of this midsummer slump that he has, and he'll absolutely crush the round of 16 going forward. Then, of course, Ryan Blaney absolutely stole the show. Our race winner with just 2 laps to go and buried in, I think, 12th or 13th place. He sliced through the chaos and came out on top. That victory not only secured him a statement win, but also locked out several other drivers below the cut line who were clawing for that last playoff spot. There were, I think, 5, 6, 7 drivers in the top 10 at the end of that race that were below the cut line, 3 of which were battling for first right at the end, and somehow, Ryan Blaney swung right through them and took that win from right under them, locking Alex Bowman into the playoffs. So I'm sure the 48 team is very grateful for that 12 of the Penske team. Now let's move on to some playoff thoughts. Now that the stage is set, 16 drivers, 1 championship, and the real racing begins. Starting with Alex Bowman, he may have barely squeaked in, but I don't think you should count him out. He's been stringing together solid finishes, and consistency matters just as much as wins in the round of 16. I've got him moving on to the round of 12, but unfortunately, I think that that's where his run ends. Hendrick Motorsports as a whole, though, is stacked. All 4 drivers should make it at least to the round of 12. Kyle Larson, despite a midsummer slump, as I mentioned, seems to wake up in the playoffs. So with that 6th place finish at Daytona, he could very well grab a first round win and build some momentum for the rounds ahead. Moving on to William Byron, another HMS driver, our regular season champ, is as close to a lock as you can get. Fast, consistent, confident, and right there with him is Ryan Blaney, our Cup Series winner from 2023. Both are playoff tested and know how to deliver when the pressure is at its highest. Tyler Reddick is still searching for that elusive first win of the year. He's fast but needs to close the deal in this first round to truly assert himself as a contender. I don't know if I see him going too far, but we'll see. Now moving on to SVG. This one's tricky. I don't see him winning in the first 3 races, but the Roval in the second round is clearly his best shot. The question is whether he can survive to get there. I mean, he's got to have an average of about a 17th place finish, I believe it was. He's been, he ran up in the top 15 a couple races ago. I think it's possible. Can he run an average of 17th? Who knows? But I think it's possible for him to get to the round of 12, and then the Roval will be his lock to the round of 8. And then there's Joey Logano, the reigning 2024 Cup Series championship. He's unpredictable. Some years he's unstoppable, others he fades pretty quickly. So even on NASCAR's Inside the Race podcast, they all seem split on him. I personally have him advancing to the round of 12, but I don't see him going any further this year. So here we go. The round of 16 is set, and the road to Phoenix kicks off at Darlington this weekend, one of the toughest tracks on the schedule in my opinion. Daytona reminded us quickly how things can flip, and the intensity only ramps up from now on. So that's all I've got for this episode of After the Checkered Flag with Paige Johnson, and I will be back after Darlington to break down the action and see which drivers are starting to separate themselves in this playoff chase. Thanks for tuning in, and buckle up. The chase is officially on. So I will see you after the checkered flag drops this weekend at Darlington.